Puerto Rico series. Roberto Clemente still looms large here in Puerto Rico. Everybody looks up to him. The fans have come here. Indians fans cheering on Francisco Lindor. Twins fans cheering on Eddie Rosario, Jose Berrios, and of course, everybody is a Puerto Rico fan. Jose Lindor, he is ready to play some baseball in front of his home fans. It's the Indians against the Twins here on FS1. Eddie Rosario got a huge ovation during pregame warmups. These guys are pumped. Speaking of a guy who's pumped, let's go down to JP Morosi, who's standing by with Francisco Lindor.
Thank you, Justin. Francisco Lindor, you have dreamed about this night for so long. What was the reality like running out there in front of this amazing crowd?
Wow, that's what I got. Wow, it's even better than what I thought it was going to be. I want to thank everyone that's out here supporting us and everybody that made this possible. MLB, Players Association, everybody that made this moment possible. Our organizations is a dream come true, and I thank the Lord for it.
About a half hour ago, Roberto Alomar told me that he is honored that you wear his number 12 in this uniform. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. You know, Robbie is one of the best to ever do it, and he's one of my idols. You know, I grew up idolizing him, trying to be someone like him, and every time I see him, I'm blessed, and it's an honor. It's an honor.
Frankie, suerte y éxito. Have fun tonight, all right? Justin, back to you.
JP, thank you very much. So he is the star of the game. Justin Kutcher alongside Tom Verducci here in the booth. And Tom, this place is electric already. You heard the emotion right there from Francisco Lindor. What are you expecting tonight?
It's just a great atmosphere. I mean, it's been said that baseball in Puerto Rico is a combination of a ball game and a street fair. And we have that festive atmosphere. This little gem of a ballpark, it's been around since 1962. I'm not sure it's ever been filled with so much pride and joy as it is tonight. And I know both teams are happy to escape the bad weather where they haven't been able to play in a few days to be here tonight.
Okay, you mentioned the bad weather. You mentioned the escape from that. Although, if you're the Twins right now, you're thinking, really, I haven't played in 4 or 5 days, and I get to face Corey Kluber?
Well, to me, Corey Kluber, when he's healthy and on point, there is no pitcher in baseball better than Corey Kluber. And you're absolutely right. This is the assignment for the Twins. They haven't seen a competitive pitch in 4 days, and now they're getting Corey Kluber on point. I've got 2 words for them, Justin. Good luck.
I'm sure a lot of people share those sentiments exactly. Well, we are here in Puerto Rico. 4 players from these 2 teams are from Puerto Rico. Francisco Lindor, who we heard from, his teammate Roberto Perez, Eddie Rosario, who is batting cleanup for the Twins. Jose Berrios will join us on the air tonight. He will get the start tomorrow night here in Puerto Rico. The lineup for the Cleveland Indians, it starts with that guy, the all-star shortstop. They call him Paquito for Frankie here in Puerto Rico. He will lead things off and play shortstop. Jason Kipnis bats second and plays second. Jose Ramirez at third will bat third. Michael Brantley will bat cleanup and play left. The DH is Edwin Encarnacion. Yonder Alonso at first. Jan Gomes gets the start behind the plate. Tyler Naquin in right field, and Bradley Zimmer will play center and bat ninth, and they will face Jake Odorizzi, acquired from Tampa Bay in the offseason. Off to a good start with the Twins, 1-0 with a 2.20 ERA, coming off his first win with the Twins against the Astros on April 10th, and what can we expect from him?
Well, a different pitcher than last year. Last year, he was a guy who lived upstairs with 4-seam fastballs. He's more sinker split, keeping the ball down this year. Reverse splits, much better against left-handed hitters. The Indians have 7 in their lineup. And diving splits. That split finger is why he is so tough on left-handed hitters. Starts out right away against the lefty, Lindor.
Francisco Lindor stepping in here at Iram Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Lindor on the season, 241, a home run and 5 RBIs, but he's been hot of late. Starting to pick things up. And the first pitch here in San Juan is a fastball that misses outside from Jake Odorizzi. I don't know if you just caught that, but Odorizzi was wiping the ball and some sweat. I don't think he's sweat so far this year.
Well, he threw that ball out of play. That's going to be put in a museum somewhere, the first pitch of this game.
That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Odorizzi, the opening day starter for the Twins, although he will be the first to admit It would have been Berrios, but Berrios was online for the start here in Puerto Rico. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Lindor.
See, that pitch there is what he featured a lot of last year. The 4-seam fastball right at the top of the zone. Still has that, but a higher complement of sinkers down.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Lindor. And it's now 3-1. On deck is Jason Kipnis, top of the first here in San Juan. The Indians haven't played since Friday. The Twins haven't played since Thursday, thanks to a thing called snow. And Lindor, the big swing on 3-1. It's now 3-2.
There you go, going upstairs. Last year, he was actually tied for the major league lead average height of his pitches. It tells you how much last year he'd like to pitch up in the zone.
Miguel Sano just moved over to the second base side of second base as Lindor hits one in the air to center field, driving Kepler back. Kepler on the track by the wall makes the catch. Could you have imagined right there if Lindor led off this game with a home run?
Oh, there was a lot of people here praying on that ball when it was in the air to get some legs.
The wind is blowing in here, and that's the reason why that one stayed in this ballpark. Blowing in from left center field, and that's exactly where that ball was hit as Jason Kipnis will make his way to the plate. We had a torrential downpour come through at around 4:45. I mean, that was biblical type stuff.
Every day at the tropics.
Yep. Kipnis takes the first pitch fastball, first strike. Kipnis hitting 164, no home runs and 4 RBIs. Fouls it back, 0-2. So the dimensions here at Iran B. Thorne Stadium. Down the left field line, it's 325. The power alley at 375. Straightaway center, 404. 375 and 325 in right center and right field.
It's a fair ballpark, but one thing you have to keep in mind here is the speed of the turf. It plays very slowly. So as an infielder, you really have to watch your depths, especially when you're in shift situations, as the Twins are now against Kipnis. Faster field, you get by yourself a little more range. Not on this, it's so slow.
1-2 off speed pitch misses, 2-2.
You see where Dozier is there in that slot position on the right side. Normally he'd be back a few steps.
2-2s in the dirt. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second full count for Odorizzi to open up this ball game. How much does rust play a factor for these guys?
Rust definitely does. I mean, it's a game of rhythm, right? Both these teams completely out of rhythm. I thought it was interesting, too, that Paul Molitor and Terry Francona, 2 managers, mentioned humidity tonight. It's been a while since these teams have pitched, especially these pitchers, pitched in humidity.
3-2 misses inside. A 1-out walk to Kipnis. The defense behind Odorizzi. In left field, the Puerto Rican native Eddie Rosario, Max Kepler in center, Robbie Grossman in right. Around the horn in the infield, you got Joe Mauer at first, Brian Dozier at second, Eduardo Escobar at short, Miguel Sano at third, and behind the plate is Jason Castro. Robbie Grossman, a late addition to the lineup. Grossman was not in. Originally, it was Byron Buxton playing center and Kepler in right, and Buxton was scratched for a migraine headache. As Jose Ramirez takes the first pitch, first strike. Ramirez, 160, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs to open up the season. The Indians have played just 14 games. The Twins have played just 11 so far. Inside, 1-1. Look at the sweat right now in Odorizzi.
I think he looked like that coming out of the bullpen after his warm-up.
Pop foul. There's a lot of foul territory here at Iran Bithorn Stadium, but that'll reach the seats.
I joked with Joe Mauer about that before the game. He came out here and took a look. I said, what caught your eye? First thing, all that foul territory. Reminiscent of Oakland.
He's thinking I have to protect that when I'm playing first base, and that could go against me when I'm hitting.
Well, any kind of overthrow, you're talking about 2 bases, not just 1.
One-two. Ramirez able to lay off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You can see the game plan early for Odorizzi to stay upstairs with that 4-seam fastball. It's not a high velocity pitch, but good run on it.
Broken back, ground ball to first. And there Mauer will step on the bag. Down to second goes Kipnis, 2 away. Odorizzi now will pitch with the runner in scoring position for Michael Brantley. Brantley hitting .286, no home runs, 4 RBIs, and 6 games so far this year. In the cleanup spot, an RBI situation here in the top of the first. In the air, shallow left. Rosario is there, and that will do it. No runs on no hits, 1 man left on. The Twins coming up. He takes his position at shortstop here in the bottom half of the first. No score, Indians and Twins. The lineup for the Twins, Brian Dozier leads things off. Joe Mauer bats second, Miguel Sano third. The cleanup hitter is Eddie Rosario. Logan Morrison will DH and bat fifth. Eduardo Escobar bats sixth. Max Kepler, Robbie Grossman, and Jason Castro, the bottom third of the order for Paul Molitor, as they have the privilege of facing Corey Kluber, who is off to a phenomenal start here in 2018. The shift is on for Dozier, and the first pitch fastball misses up high for ball one. The numbers on Kluber: He already has one complete game. He's 1-1 with a 1.57 ERA. Look at that, 4 walks to 27 strikeouts. How about the scouting report on Kluber?
Well, he's a strike machine. 70% of his pitches are strikes. Wicked sliders. Now, there's plural there because he can vary the break on that pitch, and he's a rule changer. That means you normally get 3 strikes before you're out. With him, it's 2, because hitters this year on 2 strikes are 2 for 40.
Well, we'll see what Brian Dozier does here, because he's facing a 1-2 count.
2 for 40, and it's really because of that breaking ball. He doesn't really call it a slider because, as I said, he varies the break on it, varies between the slurve and the slider. He typically runs it out of the strike zone with 2 strikes and gets to chase swing. And there it is.
Now it's 2 for 41. First strikeout.
Justin, it's just too hard to stay off of, because this ball is the strike all the way until right now. And now it moves off the plate. So the hitter sees strike. He needs to protect with 2 strikes. His command of that pitch is impeccable. There's nobody in baseball who combines velocity and spin the way that Corey Kluber does.
Joe Mauer will face him. Mauer off to a really good start. 412, no home runs, 6 RBIs. Also has 4 doubles to open up this season. The keys to the game sponsored by Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, there he is, Mr. Smile. He's the leader. Follow your leader, Mr. Smile. In Minnesota, I think they really need to hunt early fastballs. Now, Joe Mauer loves hitting with 2 strikes, but that will be the rare fastball these Twins take for a strike. Because you need to stay out of 2-strike counts, you better go hunting the fastball early in the count against Kluber.
The movement on the pitches is unbelievable. Last year's Cy Young Award winner. The 1-1 from Kluber. Fouled away, 1-2.
Joe has a lot of history against Kluber. When I asked him what's the most difficult part of facing Corey, he said he can create that X on both sides of the plate. In other words, the slider, the cutter two-seam combination, he can run on the inside of the plate or the outside of the plate. You have to protect the entire width of the plate and then some.
1-2 is popped up. Lindor going back. He is there to make the catch in shallow left. 2 away. And now Miguel Sano will make his way to home plate. Sano 250, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. But he has 22 strikeouts already on the season. Facing a guy who has opened up his season with 3 straight games of at least 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. And the first pitch in there for a strike.
And that is the pitch why Kluber owns Sano. Sano just 1 hit off of Kluber. And his Achilles heel is the breaking ball down and away. And Kluber just owns that pitch.
Comes with a fastball there.
And I asked Paul Molitor, you know, any thought of not playing Cano because the numbers are so bad against Kluber? And he said no, because he can always run into 1.
Yes, he does right there. Lines one past Lindor for a 2-out single.
Slider probably stayed up a little more than Corey wanted, but that's a nice adjustment on Sano. All the way up to 118 career against Corey Kluber.
Hey, he'll take a hit anytime he can. Just a second off in his career off of Kluber as Eddie Rosario steps in. A nice ovation for him. 211, a home run, and 5 RBIs so far this year. There's the breaking ball, missing for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Rosario. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Really had a breakout year last year. Rosario, 27 home runs. Speaking to his aggressiveness, walked only 35 times.
So no, not a threat to go over there at first base. The 1-1. Pulled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We heard from Francisco Lindor about what it was like being introduced pregame here. And he said even better than he ever anticipated. Rosario got a huge ovation from this crowd. Kluber's 1-2 in the dirt. Good stop there by Yan Gomes. There was a decision to be made by Terry Francona. Does he start Yan Gomes, who is essentially the personal catcher for Kluber, or does he go with Roberto Perez, the native of Puerto Rico, in this game? And as Francona says, and you'll say the same thing, these games count.
Yeah, it would have been the playing to the crowd move to have Perez out there tonight, but stick with a good thing.
And that good thing, second strikeout of the inning. We're through 1 here in San Juan. No score, Indians and Twins. The capital of Puerto Rico. Some beautiful weather. These fans so excited about this series here between the Indians and the Twins. No score, top of the second. Jake Odorizzi sweating out there on the mound as we welcome here to the broadcast booth the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred. Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
This is truly an honor being here for this series as Edwin Encarnacion swings the first pitch. Skies one in the infield. Mauer coming in. And Mauer will make the catch for the first out. Obviously, this series has huge importance for baseball and for the people of Puerto Rico. How much bigger was it for you guys to make sure to get these games in after the hurricane?
Well, it was really two things. We had the disappointment in 2016. We had planned on coming here. It was really unfortunate we were unable to do it. And then, of course, the hurricane followed closely on. And it was really important for baseball to be back here, be part of the recovery, and it's been an exciting couple of days.
Yeah, you were talking to us just before off the air. about what today was like for you.
We did,
traveling around with some of the players.
Yeah, we did an event at a Boys and Girls Club where we did a pretty big renovation, a couple of classrooms and a dining facility, and then we did an event with Habitat for Humanity. The Habitat event, we had the 2 Puerto Rican players from the 2 teams, Rosario, Berrios, Lindor, of course, and Roberto Perez, all present. But it's interesting, a couple of the Twins players, Brian Dozier in particular, showed up, and it was a really nice event. The players have been very excited about being here.
Well, Commissioner, we saw the excitement from the players, especially the fans. Why is it important to play these major league games that are regular season games and not just exhibition games outside of the continental U.S.?
Well, we're big on the concept of taking baseball to places where people don't ordinarily have a chance to see Major League Baseball. We've done it in the U.S., we've done it internationally, and it's important, really important for us. It's a key to growing the game. Puerto Rico's of particular significance. Obviously, we have 20 plus, I think, Puerto Rican players on Major League rosters at the beginning of the season, important source of talent for us, and we have to bring the game here.
2 away here at the top of the second for Yan Gomes. Yan Gomes, 194, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs on the season. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Again, we are speaking with the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, and we appreciate you stopping by here, but you talked about the importance. I know there's 2 outs. What is it about this particular region that makes it so important?
Well, I think it's 2 things. You know, it's not only that it's a source of talent, but we have a great fan base here. You know, we've played WCBC events here. It's one of the venues that's been most successful for us. Great baseball tradition in Puerto Rico, obviously going all the way back to Roberto Clemente and before. And it's one of those markets that we need to stay in touch with.
And the ballpark looks beautiful. I know you put in a lot of work to have it Major League ready.
Yeah, Murray Cook and his group did a fantastic job on this ballpark. The ballpark really suffered during the storm, like all of Puerto Rico. Lights broken, glass on the surface, and we had to do a lot of work to get it ready. And, you know, I think it looks the best I've ever seen it. I've been here a number of times. It really looks fantastic tonight.
It does. In this place, they've sold over 39,000 tickets for these 2 games, and this place will get loud.
Yeah, we'll have good crowds here. The crowds here are always enthusiastic. We've had a long relationship with MB Sports, the promoter here in Puerto Rico. They do a great job for us.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Gomes with 2 outs in the top of the second. And Gomes goes down swinging to end the inning. Commissioner, thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy these 2 games.
Great to see you both. Have fun here in Puerto Rico.
Thank you. Will do. The fans are having fun so far. No score as we go to the bottom half of the second. never halfway. And by Audi. Bottom of the second here in San Juan. No score. Indians and Twins, as we are now joined down in the Twins dugout by tomorrow night starter and a native here of Puerto Rico, Jose Berrios. Jose, thank you so much for joining us. Just want to get your thoughts on what it's been like to come back here over these last couple of days and get a chance to see some of your friends and family.
Right now, so far, you know, it's got a amazing experience for me and my teammates. They enjoy a lot, like me, being here in Puerto Rico right now. So we are glad to go, like, be here and, you know, good weather. Because we come from Minnesota, it's just a lot of snow there. So now, right now, we trying to enjoy a lot in Puerto Rico.
Kluber's pitch to Logan Morrison, swung on and missed. 0-2.
Jose, I got to ask you, it was a thrill for me to see some of the Puerto Rican baseball legends on the field before the game. Carlos Delgado, Juan Gonzalez. Who were your guys growing up?
Wow, these guys you see there before the game. They do a lot of good team for Puerto Rico, and they bring a lot of fun moment for the people of Puerto Rico. But when I grew up, I grew watching Ivan Rodriguez because the way he played the ball and the passion he put in when he go out there and play baseball. So I admire him and I'm watching him a lot.
Ivan Pudge Rodriguez,
yeah,
the Hall of Famer.
Big guy.
You ever talk to him about pitching and catching?
Yeah.
Pick his brain?
My first time meeting him, I met him here. They take a BP with his brother during off season, and I came to the ballpark and practice with him. I tried practicing a BP with him. We hit a BP together. Oh, that's good.
Escobar to left center field. There's Zimmer.
So
2 away.
Yeah, we take a BP here together, and then he catch me a little bullpen, like a little side, and teach me and give me some point to how to pitch the ball. So that day for me is a big day.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And apparently it's worked because you're off to a great start this year. Jose, just want to talk to you yesterday. You and a group of your teammates went to go visit patients at a children's hospital here in San Juan.
Yeah, it's a good idea for Minnesota Twins. They give me that opportunity, so I say yes, why not? So like with me and the other 7-8 people, like from the teammate, they young with me and they help me and bring a lot of smile, happiness to their kids. So they love that. You know, we saw his face when they shy, like smiling a lot. So we take a picture, I bring a ball, signing ball, jersey. So they happy right now.
Well, it's pretty cool to think that you grew up watching Pudge Rodriguez and cheering him on, and now all those kids are cheering you on. And a lot of people get a chance to cheer you on tomorrow night here at Iram Bithorn Stadium.
Yeah, tomorrow's my day, my night. So I'm ready for that. Right now, I try to, calm myself, watch, the game, try to feel the crowd. And tomorrow is another day for me. Just come at the ballpark, do my routine, and pitch my work game.
Well, have fun. Thanks so much for joining us, Jose.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
No score through 2. That's Jose at the Children's Hospital. How cool is that? Go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. The first pitch, Tyler Naquin is in there for a strike. Naquin, the right fielder, hitting .280, a home run, 4 RBIs early on this season. Odorizzi worked to 1-2-3 second. That's high and outside, 1-1.
By the way, Jose Berrios, I would say he's one of the few people with a breaking ball I would put in the same category as Corey Kluber's.
Wow.
It's that good, coast to coast, from one batter's box to the other batter's box.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Naquin. By the way, how cool was that? That he actually got to throw to Pudge Rodriguez, and Pudge gave him some tips.
Can you imagine that? I mean, that's the ultimate fantasy camp, right?
Oh my
gosh. Grew up watching this guy, idolizing him, and now he's catching your bullpen and giving you a pitching lesson. Pay it forward.
Breaking ball in there, called strike 3. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Odorizzi. Going back to the second, he's got 2 strikeouts here.
Yeah, he loves the breaking ball, the left-handed hitters, and why not? Good 12-6 break on that. A nice job by Castro framing it. We'll watch him tonight. Castro's work behind the plate for me, Justin, as good as any catcher in baseball. Making sure the strikes are called strikes. You know, a lot of people talk about framing, try to turn a ball into a strike. A lot of times the hands move too much. Castro is very quiet, making sure he never loses a strike.
Bradley Zimmer takes the first pitch high and outside. Zimmer, 250, a home run, and 3 RBIs so far this year. Fouled straight back, good swing, 1-1. Quite a difference for Jake Odorizzi pitching here in San Juan versus in Pittsburgh and Minnesota. I mean, look at that, sub 40 degrees.
Yeah, I don't think he had much of a sweat working on those 2 nights in Pittsburgh and Minneapolis. Berrios started a game that was the coldest in Twins history. 27 degrees at the start of the game. It's been a rough winter in a lot of places, but most places where these 2 teams have been.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Zimmer. Good pitch on the inside corner, 2-2. You know, you talk about how cold it is that they've been playing through, but it's not fun for the hitters facing these guys in that kind of temperatures.
Not at all. I mean, baseball is not a game designed to be played in cold weather. That's why I don't evaluate a lot of teams until we get into warmer weather. Defensively, especially, the defense gets compromised in cold conditions.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Zimmer. On deck is Francisco Lindor.
And watch Castro set his target. He does such a good job. A lot of catchers will drop the mitt as the pitcher begins to throw. He presents a very good target.
Zimmer to right field. That'll get down for a base hit. Gets by Grossman. And Zimmer will be into second with a 1-out double. So a man in scoring position now for Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor flew out to the wall in left center field to open up the ball game. He wears number 12. You heard him talk with J.P. Morosi. He wears it because he grew up idolizing Roberto Alomar. Roberto Alomar wore number 12 for the Indians, and he'll be joining us during this broadcast, as well as his brother, Sandy Alomar Jr. First pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1.
Staying upstairs. And a lot of similarities in their games, Justin, in terms of obviously defensively, the range both of them have, the ability to steal bags. But the way that they hit is actually very similar. It's very little hand movement, very quick to the ball. You don't see a big load with the hands, the way Robbie Alomar hit and the way that Francisco Lindor hits.
The 0-1 from Odorizzi. Misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 to Lindor. At first, a step off here by Jake Odorizzi. Lindor went to high school in the United States at Manfred Academy in Florida. But getting a chance to play here in front of his hometown fans, home fans, certainly excites him. Yesterday he went for a special clinic. 250 students at his former grammar school, Escuela Villa Marina in Garabo. And everyone was asking for autographs, posing pictures. And he was certainly happy to oblige and take those pictures, sign the autographs. Look at the displays the kids did for him. Comes back literally a hero.
You may have heard them chanting, Paquito, Frankie, Frankie.
One-two, called strike 3 on the outside corner. The fans here in San Juan not happy with the call.
Yeah, a great upstairs, downstairs combo. Been feeding him a lot of four-seamers up. This is one of the early, look like early splits that he's throwing. Yeah, the split change there gets the call. And again, that's why he's so effective against left-handed pitchers, because that split change runs away, down and away from left-handed hitters. It's a pitch he picked up from Alex Cobb, his former teammate with the Rays. He hasn't shown that often early, and that was a great spot to show it to Lindor after so many fastballs up.
Now he'll face Kipnis, who he walked in the first. And the fastball misses for ball 1. Two outs, runner at second is Bradley Zimmer after his first double of the season. High and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. He's missed a lot high and outside against lefties. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, some by design in terms of up. I'm sure he's not trying to miss away, though, but he does want to get it at the top of the strike zone or above. But Paul Molitor was telling us he really hadn't had the feel for the split change. I think it was due to the cold weather in his previous 2 starts.
In there for a strike, 2-1. The Indians looking to strike first here in this one. Top of the 3rd inning. Fouled straight back, 2-2.
You're seeing how many weapons Jake has. Cutter right there. We've seen the big overhand curveball. We've seen the sinker, a lot of four-seamers, the split. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes back to that split here after getting the cutter in on Kipnis. Open up, down, and away.
Two-two, pop foul. Sano goes over for a look, and that'll reach the seats.
You want to know how tough this guy is on lefties? I looked at right-handed pitchers against lefties since we've kept track of this. That's since 1988. He's among the very best. Of course, Nolan at the top of the list. That's not a surprise. 220. That is the definition of a reverse split pitcher. And a Cleveland lineup tonight with 7 left-handed hitters. Good ones, don't get me wrong, but it sets up well for a guy who gets lefties out.
Another 2-2. Pull to second base. Easy play for Dozier. And that'll do it here in the top half of the third. When we come back, we'll be joined in the booth by one of the 4 Hall of Famers from Puerto Rico, Roberto Alomar, and of course his brother, Sandy Alomar Jr. as well. From Puerto Rico, who played Major League Baseball. No score, bottom half of the third. Corey Kluber against Robbie Grossman. Grossman shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes the pitch for a strike. And we're joined here in the booth by one of those 4 Hall of Famers, Roberto Alomar. Robbie, thanks so much for joining us. A privilege to have you.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me. It's nice to be up here.
It's nice for you to be up here, and these guys downstairs. One of them who's joining us from downstairs, your brother, Sandy Alomar Jr. This is a thrill to have both Alomars on the air at one time. Sandy, thanks for joining us.
No problem, guys. Thank you for having me.
So, obviously, being back here in Puerto Rico, what does it mean for the two of you to see these guys and see how much the game has grown here in your home country?
Well, for us, after the whole devastation that happened in Puerto Rico, I think this is a great game for everybody, for the fans, for the kids, and the game of baseball can bring a lot of positive to the city.
That'll be an error against Yonder Alonso, unable to handle the ground ball there by Robbie Grossman.
Yeah.
Sandy, how about for you?
Well, I echo what Robbie said. I think it's to bring joy to the kids and the families that suffer a lot through all this devastation from Maria. Just to bring a little joy and see how important it is to bring sports to different places, and also kind of like motivates kids to play baseball. I think that with the new generation of baseball players we have in Puerto Rico, like Lindor, Correa, and so go on, I think that the work class really have brought a lot of enthusiasm to baseball in Puerto Rico.
To follow up on that, Robbie, you wore number 12 with the Indians, and now Lindor is wearing number 12. He grew up idolizing you. What is it like for you and your brother now to be the guys that the players here looked up to?
You know, for me, I feel really it's an honor that Lindor loved to wear number 12, and he loved watching me play. And now vice versa, I love watching him play, so I become his fan. But it's always nice to see the other people idolize the way you play the game, and hopefully they can bring a lot of joy to the game. And you know, when you see Lindor, the thing that I like about him is that he loved the game. He loved coming to the ballpark every day and playing the game and enjoy the game. And that's how you have a lot of success in this game, if you love the game. And you know, I wish all the best to him, and hopefully he can stay healthy.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Jason Castro, the 9-hole hitter.
Well, Robbie, I was remarking how much Lindor's game resembles yours, right down to the quiet, fast hands at the plate. Question for you and for Sandy. How much does Francisco's game remind you of your own? Sandy, watching him, how much do you see Robbie in Francisco?
A lot of similarities in their abilities. They both have power, and they can pick it. They have good arms, and they have the sixth sense of the game. They are ahead of the game. Lindor is very good at anticipating many things. He enjoys watching the game. He makes spectacular plays. His abilities are pretty incredible, and all my wish is for him to stay healthy so we can see another Robbie Alomar. But he plays shortstop, so like it's a little different position.
Yeah, I did. In the beginning of my career, I used to play shortstop. I started playing second baseman when they gave me the opportunity to come to the big leagues. But all my career in the minor league, I played short. So, you know, I see Lindor a lot of myself, but I don't want to talk about myself. I let Sandy, I think Sandy said it all. And, you know, I love watching him play.
Guys, I have to ask you this question. What was it like playing together on the same team? Sandy being the catcher, you being second base, when there is a guy trying to steal and you take that throw from your brother?
Well, I can only, you know, for me, it was like a dream come true. You know, when you have your big brother. I play with Sandy in the minor leagues. I play with Sandy in the little leagues, but never in the big leagues. And you know, to have that opportunity to play with him is an amazing accomplishment. And those are the little things that you take home when you retire, especially now when we cannot play the game no more. But you remember at that time.
Hey, I tell you guys, I think that playing with Robbie was more fun in the big leagues because I was able to afford to stay in a good apartment or buy a house. Because playing with him in the minor leagues, we had this deal that whoever played the best game get to sleep in the bed because we only can afford 1 bedroom. I was sleeping in a couch the entire season.
Well, you know how to say in the house, you have to always listen to your big brother. So he wanted to put the, he gave me that rule. I said, okay. So in the end, you know, by 1 month later, he said, no, we have to change the rule now.
And in the year we started doing that, I hit 300. Imagine that. So like, that was in AA in Wichita, Kansas. But it was a lot of fun growing up, watching your brother play, watching his ability and growing as a player, as a person, and then coming to the big leagues and becoming a Hall of Famer. That's I had first row in that journey.
Well, for me, you know, playing with Sandy, you always need a support. You know, he supported me all the way, and you always need that. You know, baseball is a grind, and baseball is a lot of ups and downs, and you know, it's always nice to have a brother beside you, always giving you a good advice.
Well, I know as a fan, it was one of the coolest things to see Alomar on 2 different players and having you guys be able to throw somebody out and make the tag. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. I think that I needed Robbie for support. He had a wonderful career. So, you know, it was amazing having an opportunity to watch him play. He was so graceful. Having the chance to play with him and Vizquel, watching him pick ground ball, turning double play, our infield was phenomenal. I had the opportunity to watch all that.
2 balls, no strikes here to Joe Mauer. As Mauer takes the pitch for a strike. Sandy, I have to ask you this question. So many great catchers have come from this island. What do you attribute that to?
The beginning was first started with Eli Rodriguez and then Orlando Mercado, but then when Benito really made it to the big leagues, and then I was following him. After that, the whole factory thing with the Puerto Rico being a catching factory started. Because then up in, you know, there was Ponch Rodriguez after that, Javi Lopez, Jorge Posada. But Benito Santiago was the true guy that when he made it to the big, he made it exciting because he kind of revolutionized the way that everybody caught. He threw from his knees. He had a cannon for an arm. I learned so much from Eli Rodriguez because he used to block the plate. And it was like a wall back there. I used to come watch winter balls and winter ball games, and my dad used to bring me, and I watched Eli Rodriguez and Orlando Mercado. But also Junior Ortiz was in that group too. But then when Benito made it to the big leagues, that's when everybody started following.
But Sandy, I got to know, how are you not a switch hitter? I mean, This island has given us so many great switch hitters, including your brother. How did you not switch hit?
I don't know. I started to switch it a little bit in the minor leagues, but I just couldn't get away from pitches. I didn't have the ability to move away from pitches, and when I started hitting lefty, that's my throwing arm. When the right arm is exposed to the pitcher, so I didn't know how to get out of the way.
Yeah, Robbie, how did you learn to switch hit?
Well, I learned from a young age. My dad, made me switch hit just like him, and it made me it was much easier for me to be a better hitter. I think I'm glad that my dad teach me how to switch it from a young age.
Robbie, I want to ask you, you wore number 12. Was that because it was the inverse number of Roberto Clemente?
A lot of people think that. It's a long story. When I came up to be a professional here in Puerto Rico, my first year, they just gave me number 1. And my favorite number was always number 2.
Sano to center field. Zimmer goes over to make the catch to end the inning.
So number 2, and then and because my favorite number was number 2 when I came to the big leagues. Number 2 was my dad. He was my big league coach, and number 1 was Gary Templeton. So I asked for number 12, and that's how I ended up with number 12.
That's how his Hall of Fame career finished at number 12. Robbie, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us. This is a great moment for us. We talked about those catchers, the montage. Look at the names that have come here from Puerto Rico. And of course, the Hall of Famer, Pudge Rodriguez. Top of the 4th, Jose Ramirez leading off against Jake Odorizzi, and he takes the pitch outside for ball 1. Ramirez grounded out to first base his first time up. We've seen some balls hit hard. It's going to take a real shot to get out of this ballpark.
How about having the Alomar brothers on? How great was that?
That is honestly, no joke, one of the highlights of my career.
That's a thrill. Now, the reason I asked him about the switch hitting thing, the top 25 home run switch hitters of all time, 7 of them are from Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico has the population about the same as Connecticut. All right, 3.5 million people, and 7 of the top 25 home run hitters, switch hitters, are from Puerto Rico. And there's so many of them that a switch hitter actually played the national anthem tonight, and a switch hitter threw out the first ball. They're everywhere.
They really are.
I think the beer vendors are switch hitters.
Well, you have to be. I mean,
You got to use the right and the left? Work both sides of the aisle?
Yeah, of course. Bernie Williams played the national anthem. Carlos Beltran threw out the first pitch. Ramirez lofts one to right field. Coming in is Grossman. One away. Let's check in with the third member of our team once again, JP Morosi.
Well, Justin, one more connection between Alomar and Bernie Williams. They played together on the 1995 Caribbean Series Dream Team for the San Juan Senadores. A lot of Major League players of that vintage from Puerto Rico played that year because of the strike. And there's a great debate here in Puerto Rico. That team, of course, included Ruben Sierra, one more switch hitter, about which team was truly better, that team or the most recent WBC team. In fact, I asked Robbie Alomar. He said he didn't want to maybe say it was his team, but I think that's probably the sentiment by many Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the names on that team in 1995 compared to 2017, the verdict is still out on the 2017 team. But those guys from that 95 team, I mean, they're legends.
That was certainly a golden age of players out of Puerto Rico.
Outside to Michael Brantley, 2 balls and no strikes. You know, it's funny, you think about the players now. One of those players on that 2017 WBC team was Javi Baez. To me, he's the best defensive shortstop since Alomar. I mean, second baseman, excuse me.
Well, like Robbie, he probably still thinks of himself as a shortstop, right? The WBC team with Correa, Lindor, and Baez. Only one could play short.
Brantley to left center field. That'll split the outfielders and get to the wall. Michael Brantley on his way to second base, and he will be in there with his second double of the season.
Real low maintenance swing. Set it and forget it. It's a very flat, even swing. A little bit surprised that they actually shift in the infield against him. He hits the ball all over. There it is, the classic Brantley swing.
For the second straight inning, the Indians have a 1-out double, and now it's Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. First pitch breaking ball in there, first strike. 68 miles per hour on that breaking ball from Odorizzi. You talk about the swing of Michael Brantley. He works with his father on his swing. It's all those kids of players with that quiet swing, that quiet hands, then boom.
Well, I know it's in today's game, a lot of the game is about launch angle and swinging up on the ball and getting it in the air. If you have a swing like Brantley's, there's no reason to change. He does have pop, there's no question about it, but it's, as I said, a low maintenance swing. It rarely goes into deep slumps.
Encarnacion rips one foul. Nice play by the ball boy down there. Talk about a thrill for these local kids.
All right. He made it look like I had nothing to it. There, he stuck out the tongue there like, whoo. That felt good.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Encarnacion. 1 away in the 4th. Up high, 2-2.
That's a thrill right there.
What I love is the smile. We talk about Lindor, how he's always smiling. Now you see that youngster over there can't hide the smile. Two is foul tipped. Staying alive. Another smile by a young Indians fan. Follow the leader.
Mr. Smile right there. Definition of a franchise player in every definition of the word.
On deck is Yonder Alonso. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Encarnacion. able to wait on the breaking ball and foul it off.
Yeah, Odorizzi's got really a base open here, so no reason to give in to Encarnacion. To me, with Brantley on second base, it's an easy send on any single. The outfield has to play so deep on Encarnacion, and we talked about this turf and how slowly it plays. You almost would treat it in a 2-out situation where you can take any chance on a single with 2 outs. I think you could do it here.
Another 2-2. High and outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. You mentioned first base open with Encarnacion, and you got a lefty in Yonder Alonso up, and you already talked about how good Odorizzi is against lefties.
Yeah, so for him, you know, most right-handers will say, I'm going to go after the right-hander and stay away from the lefty. It's just the opposite with Jake. So he's got obviously a lot of choices here against Encarnacion and can try to get him out of the strike zone instead of having to come into the strike zone.
The 3-2. Slow breaking ball, and again, Encarnacion able to foul it off.
And that's exactly what he did. Went to that breaking ball, the slow breaker. If this ball is out of the zone, Encarnacion protecting. Gets a piece of it. As long as you keep your hands back as you're going forward on that breaking ball, you're okay. A lot of hitters will sink into their legs the slower the pitch. That's how they buy more time on the slow breaking ball.
9th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Encarnacion. And he goes back to the slow breaking ball, and this time he gets him. 4th strikeout of the game for Odorizzi.
Well, that's a beauty, just doubling up on that breaking ball. Tremendous confidence in that pitch. And even though Encarnacion saw it pitch before, can't get this one. And this one is in the zone. Just so much drop to that overhand 12-6 curveball.
It's a fun at bat. Indians 0 for 4 now with runners in scoring position as Yonder Alonso digs in. Slow breaking ball, ground ball to second. Dozier gets to his feet and will throw out Alonso to end the 4th inning. So the 2nd straight inning that the Indians have stranded that runner at second base. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The fans have come a long way to watch Francisco Lindor. Clinic for 75 students at his former high school, Escuela Dr. Rafael Lopez Landron in Guayama. This was part of the Players Going Home program, part of the Youth Development Foundation, a joint fund by Major League Baseball and the MLB, created in 2015 to improve the caliber, effectiveness, and availability of amateur baseball and softball programs across the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada. His family is here cheering him on, and he gets to lead off here in the 4th inning. And we heard the commissioner tell us it's not just the players from Puerto Rico who have been great with the fans going out and doing things. It's everyone.
Yeah, well, you saw the family there. Think about when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico last year. He didn't hear from his family for 5 days.
Ground ball through the hole on the right side. A leadoff single for Rosario.
Well, they actually had to drive the 50 miles here to San Juan to find a working telephone and let him know that that they were okay. Well, we said he's an aggressive hitter. He's jumping right on this breaking ball and pulling it through the hole. There you go. That's my boy. And the first thing Eddie did after the season, he came back to his hometown and for 10 days drove around in a truck and hand delivered essential supplies to people. He called that the most meaningful moment of his life.
Logan Morrison at the plate. Takes the first pitch in for ball 1. We showed Roberto Clemente's number before, and everyone knows what a great humanitarian he was. And you hear that story about Rosario and other guys, and you wonder how much of that is to follow in the footsteps of the great Roberto Clemente.
Well, I agree. A lot of it is. I mean, Roberto Clemente set the bar here not just as a player, but as a humanitarian. So you know that growing up here, even this generation that maybe never got a chance to see him play, very aware of the standard that Roberto Clemente set. And believe me, they want to live up to that, as high as that bar is.
1 ball, 1 strike to Logan Morrison, who struck out his first time up. Fouled back. So back in the States, Roberto Clemente made his name with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You've got the Clemente Bridge, you have the statue, and here you've got the pictures of him here on B. Thorne Stadium. He has his own stadium in Carolina named after him. Ended his career with 3,000 hits. Number 21.
How about this, Justin? 63 years ago to this day, Roberto Clemente made his major league debut. April 17th, 1955. He was 20 years old, batting 3rd in the lineup of the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field against Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now think about that. 20 years old, your debut, you bat 3rd in the lineup. I'm not talking about September call, right. April. That was so special. Nobody has done it since. To have your debut in April, to hit 3rd at age 20. He was a Hall of Famer from day one.
Look at those numbers. 15-time All-Star, 12 Gold Gloves. A cannon for an arm out there in right field. A check on Rosario at first base. And you talked about it against the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was actually a Brooklyn Dodgers farmhand. Roberto Clemente was.
He was, and the Pirates got him in the version of the Rule 5 draft, but unprotected by the Dodgers.
Morrison, did he go? He did not. Says Roberto Ortiz down there at 3rd base. So a walk here to Morrison. 1st and 2nd, nobody out for the Twins. Second walk of the game issued by Kluber, which is uncharacteristic for him entering this game. He had walked just 4 in 23 innings.
By the way, speaking of the Rosario Clemente connection, last year Eddie did something that Roberto was the first to do from Puerto Rico. 3 home runs in a game. When we talked about Roberto's debut, how about Eddie Rosario's debut? And his parents are in the stands. He gets called up to the big leagues. They're all excited, of course.
Right.
Their son made it to the big leagues. Can't wait to see. I mean, you're just happy to be there, right? There's 2 guys having fun, right?
Oh, man.
What a thrill.
Lindor, Rosario. No balls, 1 strike to Eduardo Escobar. So this is what you're talking about?
This is first at bat. And now everybody's taking pictures. First pitch. Scott Kazmir. First pitch. Are you kidding me? Gone. Silent treatment in the dugout. That is pretty cool. One of 30 players. First pitch. Home run.
The 0-2 called, strike 3 on the outside corner. The 4th strikeout of the game for Kluber.
Paint right here. Set up inside. That's the 2-seamer. He's trying that front door 2-seamer, throw it at the hip and have it come back. You saw how much movement there was. That started middle of the plate and caught outside corner.
1 away now for Kluber and the Indians. As Kluber will face Max Kepler, who flew out to right field his first time up. Spins one in there. 0-1. Kluber turned 32 on April 10th. He's pitching on 7 days rest. Chopper off the plate. Kluber has 1 play. That's to first. He retires Kepler as both men advance. Well, Corey Kluber last year won the Cy Young. And here's why.
Well, when he gets on a roll, he's as good as there is. Repeats his mechanics so well. The only surprise to me was taking the ball in Game 5 of the ALDS against New York and not winning the game. And there's a lot of speculation around Cleveland that he wasn't quite right. A little bit of a back issue. Of course, Corey doesn't use anything as an excuse. He'd never admit to that.
That was our best player profile. And the first pitch in there for a strike to Robbie Grossman.
And he puts so much pressure on the hitter to stay out of a 2-strike count.
Gave up a leadoff single to Rosario on the first pitch. Walked Morrison. A strikeout and a ground out. And that misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grossman reached on the error his first time up to yonder Alonso. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So this inning really not quite the same command of that 2-seam fastball. And again, he sets the bar so high you're surprised when he misses, but in this inning he's missed by quite a bit for him on the 2-seam fastball. That's normally an automatic start to the hip inside corner pitch for him.
Chopper to first. Alonso this time will make the play. He'll step on the bag, and that will end the threat. The Twins strand 2 in scoring position. We're through 4. No score here in Puerto Rico. Motor Company. No score, top of the 5th here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Both teams with 2 hits. The Indians with an error. But look at the starters, Jake Odorizzi and Corey Kluber. Odorizzi 65 pitches through 4, 56 for Kluber.
Efficient. And without the typical high velocity we see a lot in today's game. Pitching clinic on display tonight in San Juan.
Yan Gomes struck out his first time up. The fans here just waiting for something to cheer about. First pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Breaking ball is pulled foul.
This is a cool park, you know that? You could tell it was built in 1962.
Yeah.
You know? You see that roof, the cantilevered roof there. Reminds me a lot of the pavilion at Dodger Stadium, built around the same time. A lot of history in this ballpark. Great Caribbean Series games, Winter League, of course.
Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hiram Bithorn Stadium here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Breaking ball. He did not go, says Eric Cooper. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Back in the Winter League of 1970-71, Clemente actually managed against Frank Robinson. Winter ball. How about that?
Wow. The 2-2. Another strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Odorizzi. Hiram Bithorn Stadium, named after Hiram Bithorn, the first Major League Baseball player from Puerto Rico. Stadium built in his honor, as Tom mentioned, in 1962.
Nicknamed the Tropical Hurricane.
One away here in the 5th. We heard from the commissioner about how much damage was done to this stadium from Hurricane Maria, and how they've done a great job of getting it ready for this game in this series here tonight and tomorrow night. Naquin struck out looking his first time up, takes the slow breaking ball outside. For more on the stadium, let's go down to JP Morosi.
Well, as the commissioner said, Justin, it was an amazing winter of work by Murray Cook and his team to get this ballpark back into Major League condition. The batting cages you see down the both foul lines, those were totally destroyed in the storm. It was glass from the lights that shattered on the field that had to be picked up actually square by square on this outfield. The dugouts had flooded, so now it's back to being really better than it's ever been. I was here 3 years ago for the Caribbean Series. The stadium is in excellent shape. Also, during the Puerto Rican Winter League season, Justin, it was still played this year, but only 18 games per team. And here, for those Cangrejeros de Santurce, they only played day games. This is the first night game here since the storm.
New lights were put in, LED lights.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. You know, I was here for the first regular season Major League game back in 2001 between Toronto and Texas, and it was not this bright. They did a great job with the lighting here.
2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Naquin. 1 away here in the 5th. Foul tipped out of the mitt of Castro. Zimmer on deck, doubled his first time up. Another 2-2. Another strikeout for Odorizzi. Back-to-back strikeouts. He's got 6 now, 2 away here in the 5th. And during today's pregame ceremony, Major League Baseball honored 8 community heroes for their incredible service to others in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria and Puerto Rico's ongoing recovery. They were escorted onto the field by some of Puerto Rico's great Major League Baseball legends, including Robbie Alomar, Carlos Delgado, Bernie Williams, Juan Gonzalez, Carlos Baerga, Alex Rios. It was quite a scene here before the game.
It's a rich tradition here, baseball in Puerto Rico.
Zimmer doubled his first time up to right field. Comes up here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. The first of a 2-game series here in the 2018 Puerto Rico series. Tomorrow, Carlos Carrasco against Jose Berrios.
So we saw a picture before of Iran Bithorn. Reminds me of the second Puerto Rican player in the big leagues. Luis Olmo was the first to play in the World Series. Had a really good year in 1943. Hits .303. He walks into Branch Rickey's office, this is with the Dodgers, to ask for a raise. Rickey gets his secretary on the phone and says, "Get this man a plane ticket home." That was his response to Olmo asking for a raise. And he said, "Hold on a second, that raise, and forget about it. I'm good."
Wow.
Back in the day, all the negotiating power belonged with the front office.
Wow.
Luis hit a home run in that first World Series with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Zimmer. Odorizzi trying to strike out the side. Going with the breaking ball, misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Odorizzi's season high in strikeouts is 7. Back on opening day at Baltimore. He's got 6 right now through 4 2/3. And Zimmer stays alive.
Mixing in more 2-seam fastballs now. Good run on that one. That's the thing about Jake. He's a swing and miss guy. He's a strikeout pitcher. But he's not someone who has to rely on one pitch to get his punch outs. He's got a lot of places to go. It's a tough solve as a hitter. Here, the slow breaking ball.
There it is, and Zimmer rips it to right field again. Almost the identical spot he hit his first double. Now he's got his second double.
That's just good hitting. We saw Encarnacion swing and miss on the same pitch. Remember we talked about as long as you can wait with your hands back. Lower half movement, really not that important. As long as you keep the hands back on the breaking ball, and that's what Zimmer did.
And of course, we said these fans are waiting for something to cheer about. Well, they've got a chance right now with Lindor coming up again with a runner in scoring position. The Indians 0 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position.
And just, I think he's shown Lindor too many fastballs up. I think he's got to use a different plan of attack 3rd time around.
Well, he starts him off with a slow breaking ball.
Softer. Now he can work backward. If he wants to, he can go to high fastball with 2 strikes. But to me, Lindor, I mean, he can hit anything, but he's seen too many of those fastballs up.
There's the fastball up, and he swings through it. No balls and 2 strikes.
That's the pitch I thought he'd get on top of. Watch the bat. It's going to be underneath this. That's the magic in Odorizzi's 4-seam fastball. He's not lighting up the gun. He's throwing 90-91, but he's got such good spin on it. The ball doesn't drop as much as a hitter perceives that it's going to. And his swings and misses are going to be the barrel under the ball.
10 swing and misses for Odorizzi tonight. And And this hits off the leg of Castro. Down the third goes Zimmer. Zimmer takes a turn. He'll hold up right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of real estate back there behind the plate, and the way Zimmer can run. There was some urgency to retrieve that ball. It's the cutter in, and as you mentioned, it just gets off the tip of the glove. Castro, very uncharacteristic.
Still waiting for the official word, but it looks like that should be a passed ball.
Should be.
So now a runner at third. 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lindor. Can he drive in the first run here in Puerto Rico?
He tried that fastball up again. Just that was a ball out of his hand. Didn't even attempt a swing there. But if you're going to hit that 4-seamer up, you actually have to gauge your swing to hit the top of the baseball. Force yourself to be on top.
It is a pass ball charged to Jason Castro.
Going back to the fastball.
Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And we talked about it before with Odorizzi. You've got first base open. Would you rather face Lindor or face Kipnis?
Well, I'm curious on the pitch decision there. You saw Castro tap his left shoulder, reminding Jake, keep that front side in, because he got underneath that fastball there.
They've come to their feet here in San Juan. The 3-2. Breaking ball in the air to right field. Grossman by the warning track at the wall. Gone! Did it to open up the ball game, and now he does it here in the 5th. A 2-run shot by Francisco Lindor in front of all of his fans here in Puerto Rico, and they're calling for a curtain call.
Marquito answers the curtain call. He's such a special player. It's hard to say this, but that was almost expected. He is a red light player. When that camera light is on him, when the lights are brightest, he is at his best.
Playing in front of his family. They're now in tears, and those are tears of joy. Kipnis pops one up. Escobar will make the catch, but the fans rose to their feet on 3-2, and Lindor made sure they stayed on their feet. The family cheering for it to get out. It got out. Two 2-0. Indians leading as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning here in San Juan. The first pitch from Corey Kluber to Jason Castro misses high and outside. This place is still buzzing over that 2-run home run by Francisco Lindor. He had to take a bow out there at shortstop.
Well, we talked about he rises to the big moments. And yeah, take a bow. Saw a lot of emotion on his face, as much as I've ever seen. It's always joyful.
Very graceful bow.
What a moment.
The 1-2 to Castro. Base hit center field. Castro is now 1 for 2 on the night. Brian Dozier will make his way to the plate. Corey Kluber has a 2-run lead here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. He's at 60 pitches for the game thus far. By the way,
I'm just trying to think what's going through Lindor's mind. I mean, you come here at the age of 12 to this ballpark, right? Watching the World Baseball Classic, and your heroes are people like Carlos Delgado and Ivan Rodriguez, and you dream of being a big leaguer someday. That happens. And then the ultimate dream for him is to play here in the same ballpark in his native land. And he said before the game, the greatest thrill for him, but that's a dream come true. Well, was that part of the dream? To hit a home run in front of, he's got 60 family and friends here tonight.
He said before the game that it has exceeded his expectations. That was a nasty pitch from Kluber.
And I say 60, that was just his ticket allotment. He actually has 19,000 family and friends in this ball yard tonight.
No balls and 2 strikes to Dozier. The Twins have had the leadoff man on base now 3 straight innings. Nice play by Gomes, 1-2. But he is a guy, as you said, the moment is never too big for him. And you said you almost expected. You expected that ball to go out.
You know, talking to Terry Francona before the game, he mentioned as many activities as Francisco did yesterday and today. The manager reminded him, hey, we have a game to play. I think he's so well equipped to handle the attention and still be completely focused on baseball. And I think it's easy for him to do because he loves baseball that much.
Robbie Alomar said it. You have to love the game. Robbie Alomar loved the game. Lindor loves the game. Making number 12 look good in that Indians uniform. Dozier to center field. Zimmer comes on to make the catch, and back to first base goes Castro. Let's go back to that at bat by Lindor.
Yeah, we were wondering how Jake was going to get him out. He started him soft, and I thought, well, maybe he'll get him out soft. The cutter there after the fastball. Here he loses fastball command twice, and without the fastball, he decides to sneak in the curveball. See you later.
And then the emotion poured out.
Oh, just pure joy. He floated around the bases.
Tops it off with the bow, and he gets to his shortstop position. Joe Mauer at the plate. Walked his last time up. Has popped out to Lindor at short. And he takes the first pitch for a strike. Joe Mauer collected his 2,000th career hit last week. Just a nasty pitch from Kluber, 0-2.
Yeah, he's the only one I've seen tonight take a fastball for a strike. Strike one was the fastball. Strike two was the cutter back door. This guy hit 267 on 2 strikes last year. That's top 5 in baseball. He does not mind being behind on the count.
Oh-2 is pulled foul. Back to the home run by Lindor. His mom is in the blue shirt and the glasses. She's the one jumping up and down. Tears in her eyes. We'll hear from her in just a minute. But her son made her incredibly proud. No balls and 2 strikes to Joe Mauer. And Mauer pops one up, foul territory. Long run for Ramirez. Ramirez over to make the catch. We mentioned Lindor's mom. Let's check in with Frankie's mom. Here's JP Morosi.
Thanks, Justin. Here with Maria Serrano, the mother of Francisco Lindor. Maria, gran felicidades. Maria, por favor, describe sus emociones en este momento. Please describe your emotions in this moment.
Wow, ha sido la emoción más grande de mi vida, aparte de él haber llegado a Grandes Ligas, de que haya dado un jonrón en Puerto Rico, en su tierra. De verdad que ha sido algo bien emocionante.
Wow, this has been like the best thing ever. I've been giving a home run here in Puerto Rico. Wow, I'm just so excited.
María, ¿creía que este momento fue posible antes de este partido? Did you expect this moment to happen?
Bueno, sí esperábamos que jugara y todo, pero que verlo sacar esa bola por ahí, no sé.
She says that, you know, yes, we knew that, you know, it was exciting for him to be here at the park, and but to just go and make a home run, no, not even. So wow, qué emocionante, really. It's just really excited. It's really emotional.
María, muchísimas gracias. Gran felicidades.
Gracias a ustedes.
Justin, back to you.
Thank you very much, JP. Well done, both Spanish and English. We're through 5 here in Puerto Rico. It's 2-0 Cleveland. NASCAR as they chase Kyle Busch and a seasoned field of veterans. The Toyota Owners 400 Saturday at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on Fox, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. We go to the 6th here at Iram Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Justin Kutcher alongside Tom Berducci and JP Morosi here on FS1. It'll be Jose Ramirez, Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion to face Jake Odorizzi. And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Ramirez, who is 0 for 2. A ground out to first and a fly out to right field. Missing lone outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, Tom, we were talking about the home run by Lindor. We heard JP ask his mom, did she expect it? You said you almost do expect it. He has that ability to shine when the light is brightest and when the moment is the biggest. Up high, 2-1, and he reminds me in that way of Derek Jeter. The moment never gets too big for him.
Yeah, the ability to be the same player even though the circumstances change, that's a gift. And both of those guys you mentioned had it from the get-go, first day in the big leagues. The it factor, whatever you want to call it. It's the ability not to worry about the consequences of failure and just to, again, I go back to the love of the game. When you approach the game from that perspective, that you're having fun watching him play, he looks like he's still 12 years old,
yeah.
right? And that works in his favor.
3 balls, 1 strike to Ramirez, leading off here in the 6th. Foul tipped into the mid of Castro, 3-2.
And oh, by the way, he's developing into something no one thought he would, and that's a home run hitter. Now, he hates to be called that. He still insists he's not a power hitter. He had 33 home runs last year. And what you're seeing is someone growing into power. He's very strong in his forearms and wrists and hands. That's where his strength is. And it's not a surprise. He can very well do that again to get in the 30s in home runs.
Ramirez in the air to right field. Grossman going over at the wall. That's gone. Fourth home run of the year for Jose Ramirez, and it's 3-0 Indians. Very similar to the home run by Lindor.
Yeah, you know, we talked about what the manager said about pitching in humidity for the first time, really, after so much cold weather, and when that might sap these starting pitchers. And I think in these last 2 innings, you see the gas needle starting to move towards E on Odorizzi, especially at fastball command.
Michael Brantley, deep to right center field. Back-to-back home runs. First home run of the year for Brantley.
And Justin, that is right on cue, because that's another fastball that leaked over the plate. The two-seamer designed to be in on the hands works into the barrel of Brantley. I think fatigue caught up with Jake Odorizzi. Pitched a splendid game, but getting beyond 90, just ran out of gas in terms of his pitch count.
It was a 2-run shot in the 5th with 2 outs by Lindor. Odorizzi's night is done here in the 6th. Did not record an out in the 6th. Jose Ramirez led off the inning with a home run. And the next pitch, Brantley. Back-to-back home runs by the Indians to open up the 6th inning. And the dugout, led by Francisco Lindor, all smiles right now as they lead 4-0. Taylor Rogers, the new pitcher, and his first pitch fastball in there for a strike to Edwin Encarnacion. Rogers has appeared in 4 games this year, 1-1 record, a 2.25 ERA in 4 innings. A walk and a strikeout as he relieves Jake Odorizzi here in the 6th inning.
Outside.
Missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. You can hear home plate umpire Corey Blazer saying outside.
Yeah, he's got a real good run on that 2-seam fastball, and against the lefties you'll see a lot of his breaking ball. He's got a really good curveball.
Odorizzi, 5+ innings. Encarnacion to center field. Kepler comes in to make the catch. A hard out there by Encarnacion. 1 away here in the 6th. Odorizzi, 5+. 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a walk, 6 strikeouts.
Well, that's baseball in 2018, Justin. The real danger point for a pitcher and manager is when the lineup turns around for a 3rd time. It's the biggest decision managers have to make. And in this case, Odorizzi faced 4 batters 3rd time around. 3 of them hit home runs.
Yonder Alonso can't hold up right there.
That doesn't mean you have to yank everybody out,
right?
You know, after 18 batters faced, but the analytics will tell you there's a big difference between facing a hitter for a 3rd time and a reliever coming in facing him for the 1st time. And that drives pitching decisions as much as anything in today's game. Now again, it doesn't mean you're going to pull him automatically, and you know, Jake has been one of the best pitchers for Paul Molitor, earning the opportunity to pitch deeper into games. But that's a good example of why we don't see it as often as we used to.
The 0-2 off the end of the bat. That's a cue ball. Nice play by Rogers. 2 away. With that said, you said it's not a guarantee to pull the guy out. You don't have to. I do like when the managers go by feel, go by instinct, what they're seeing. And for the most part, I mean, Odorizzi was pitching pretty well. He made that mistake. Zimmer and Lindor, 2 of the last 3 batters he faced in that 5th inning, had extra base hits.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. I mean, you know, 2 times around the lineup, there were not warning signals that you had to get somebody up in case he ran out of gas. It happened very quickly. Hard to prepare for that.
Molitor did have double barrel action in the bullpen, with Rogers throwing as well as Addison Reed, and he went with the lefty Rogers. Strike to Yan Gomes, 0-1.
Well, remember, this is their first game in 5 days, so a lot of these relief pitchers, you want to get out to the mound. And I think you'll see several before this game's over.
That's in.
Missing inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Through the shifts for Yan Gomes, a base hit.
Just good hitting right there. And we talked about Rogers and that 2-seamer with the good run on it. It's running away from Gomes, and he does the right thing by not rolling over on this pitch, but taking it the other way. Now, I'm not a big believer because you're shifted that you then have to, people say, pitch to the shift. Well, you cannot pitch major league hitters one way. In other words, you just can't pitch Gomes inside all the time. You have to use both sides of the plate. Give credit to the hitter for making the adjustment and the ball running away.
That was the 7th hit of the game for the Indians. The first that was not for extra bases.
Yeah.
This is Brandon Geyer hitting in place of Tyler Naquin. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two outs, runner on first here in the top of the 6th inning. That stands Geyer up. 2-1.
I'm surprised he missed him. He's like Craig Biggio. He's turned getting hit by pitches into a skill. He usually holds his ground. He gets hit as much as anybody without his really full-time plate appearances.
2-1, fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 runs in on back-to-back home runs by Jose Ramirez and Michael Brantley here in the 6th inning. It's 4-0 Cleveland. Able to get Geyer to end the inning, but the inning started off with some fireworks. First off the bat of Jose Ramirez. And the next batter, Michael Brantley. 4-0 Indians lead as we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Old San Juan. Back here at Iran B. Thorne Stadium in San Juan. It's a 4-0 game after back-to-back home runs by Jose Ramirez and Michael Brantley in the top half of the 6th inning. It'll be Eddie Rosario, Logan Morrison, and Eduardo Escobar here in the bottom half of the 6th against Corey Kluber. Rosario singled his last time up. A native of Puerto Rico. And the first pitch from Kluber. Misses outside for ball 1. Well, we are joined in the booth as we have a new right fielder, Brendan Geyer, replaces Tyler Naquin after he pinch hit in the 6th. The 1-0 from Kluber. That's ripped down the right field line, but hooking foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a tease, because now you see who is in the booth with us. Carlos Beltran. Carlos, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me here. It's an honor for me to be here with you guys.
By the way, that's a nice ring you've got.
Oh, thank you. Only took me 20 years to get to this.
Well worth the wait, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks God for that.
Carlos, we've been lucky enough to have some other people on tonight.
Sure.
Robbie and Sandy Alomar, the commissioner. A line drive to second base, caught there by Kipnis. What does this night mean for you?
Well, it means a lot, not only for me, it means a lot for the country, for Puerto Rico, for the fans, for the people that have gone through tough times. And and the fact that MRB were able to work it out to try to bring 2 games to Puerto Rico and bring joy to the island. I mean, you can look around, you can see, you know, the fans having a good time, and that's what it's all about.
They're having a great time now.
Yeah, they really are, especially since native son Francisco Lindor went deep. What's your appreciation watching Francisco Lindor step up in the moment like that?
It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the game, you know, where he came through for the fans, for his team. It's beautiful to see him having success here in Puerto Rico, his homeland, and you know, Francisco is one of the most talented, you know, players in the game. So, you know, I'm very proud of him.
0-2 the count to Logan Morrison. Walked his last time up, has also struck out. We talked about this with Robbie Alomar, and you're part of this whole equation. Francisco Lindor, switch hitter.
Yeah.
Robbie Alomar, switch hitter. You are a switch hitter. What is in the water here in Puerto Rico?
Bernie Williams, you missed one.
Yeah, oh no, there's a ton.
many. Jorge Posada.
Jorge Posada, exactly.
Jose Vidro.
Exactly.
On and on.
I don't know. Honestly, for me, when I first signed in 1995, I was a right-hander hitter, and I became a switch hitter when I was drafted here in Puerto Rico, Winter Ball League, and Bernie Williams was the center fielder of that ball club, and I got to see him closely, and he was an all-star type of player, a guy that I really look up to, and I told myself, you know what, I need to learn to hit from the left side in order for me to, you know, take advantage of my speed early in my years. So basically, you know, he was an inspiration for me, and Alomar was another inspiration, you know, great guy that played the game at very highest level for many years. So super proud of all those guys. You know, there's no doubt that, you know, I appreciate the guys that played the game before me, because they really did open the doors for me and many others. So, and the fact that I got to play 20 years in the big leagues and, you know, represent this country with so much pride, super excited.
Well, there's such a rich baseball history here in Puerto Rico. For you growing up as a young boy, who were the guys that you looked up to?
Well, I look up to Bernie Williams, I look up to Juan Gonzalez, I look up to Ivan Rodriguez, I look up to Ruben Sierra, I look up to Roberto Alomar, to Sandy Alomar, to Edgar Martinez. I mean, many players that were able to not only represent Puerto Rico, but they were impact players in the big leagues for many years. So, you know, they really inspired a lot of kids back home in Puerto Rico, and I really thank God that God gave me the opportunity to also continue inspiring other kids here in Puerto Rico.
Well, that includes your humanitarian work. In the spirit of Roberto Clemente, you literally arranged for plane loads of supplies to come in here after the hurricane. How important was that for you?
Oh man, it was huge to be able to bring a little bit of help to Puerto Rico. It was a devastating moment for me. I was in Houston. There was no communication with my family for 7 days. So, I mean, it was a tough moment. So,
Carlos, could you stay a little bit longer with us?
Sure, I can.
Awesome. We'll be back with more with Carlos Beltran after this.
Hey, say hello, bro.
Beltran, that final out in the World Series, gets to celebrate. He was kind enough to stick around for an extra half inning here on FS1 with us. What's going through your mind when you're watching that highlight?
Oh my God, that was an unbelievable moment, a moment that I would never forget, and super proud of all my teammates. You know, the Houston Astros, you know, organization, ownership, they really put it together.
Yeah. We're in that ring with some pride right now as Bradley Zimmer steps in. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. A run scored. He scored on the home run by Francisco Lindor in the 5th inning. Facing Taylor Rogers. Lifts one to left field. Over there, Rosario, 1 away. And now we get a chance to watch Francisco Lindor and just listen to this ovation.
Carlos, I look around the stands and I see a lot of kids, and I see a lot of kids wearing Lindor jerseys.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, and you know him well, he lives up to that responsibility well.
And that's what it's all about. You know, he's only understand that he's a good player. He's a great human being. You know, he represented baseball the right way. Great humanitarian also. So that's what it's all about. You know, it's about playing the game the right way and also get involved with the community. He does a pretty good job.
Lindor, the 2-run homer his last time up, also a fly out to the wall in left center field. And a strikeout, batting from the right side for the first time. Lindor in the long line of switch hitters. Carlos Carrasco's been taking pictures in the dugout. Savoring the moment.
That's great.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Lindor. And Carlos, you were talking about it before we went to break about your own humanitarian efforts. You know, last year with the hurricane and what you did. Now coming back here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. After the hurricane, what's your take on where the country is right now?
Well, there's no doubt that things are a little better, especially in this area, San Juan area. And but you know, there's some areas in the center of the island that people still without power. And it's crazy to imagine that, you know, 8 months after the hurricane hit the island, you know, people are still going through tough times.
Lindor flies out to center field here for the 2nd out. I know this series has brought a lot of smiles to people's faces. Yes. You were the one to throw out the first pitch tonight. And I want to ask you, first of all, congratulations, you threw a strike. That's high pressure situation. Secondly, what was Delgado saying to you right there?
He's saying, hey, make sure you don't bounce it, brother. He's putting pressure before I throw that ball. That's unfair.
I like the fact you got on the top of the mound, too.
Yeah, I have to. I have to. Oh, man.
2 away now for Jason Kipnis here in the top of the 7th inning, 4-0. The Indians lead the Twins. Putting pressure on you is Carlos Delgado. And you lived up to the pressure.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you have to come through.
Breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes here to Kipnis. Before we let you go, just seeing the atmosphere and soaking it all in. You came up here and you said, man, this is a good view.
Yes, beautiful.
What do you think when you see all these fans here?
Oh my God, it's great for baseball. There's no doubt. It's great for our country. The fact that these fans tonight are going to go home happy, being able to see this game, and tomorrow they're going to come also and enjoy MLB baseball. It's huge for the island, and I'm very proud of you know, everybody that really contribute to make this happen.
And you see all those Twins fans tomorrow with Berrios on the mound?
I was telling some of my friends earlier, I say, today the fans are rooting for Cleveland, tomorrow they will be rooting for Minnesota.
I'm even wondering, I mean, we saw the party-like atmosphere when Lindor hit the home run.
Yeah.
How long can the fans keep it up tomorrow for Berrios?
Oh no, they're gonna be having a good time. I hope Berrios, you know, really have a good night and is capable of staying long in the mound and put a show for the fans.
Well, here comes Paul Mulder out the dugout. Carlos, we'll say thank you right now for joining us. Thank you for everything you've done for baseball and for Puerto Rico.
I want to thank you guys for the guys that you also do, you know, broadcasting the game and, you know, providing a lot of information to the fans out there. So thank you for having me, and continue good work, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Have a good one.
A pitching change here in San Juan, with the Indians leading 4-0. Top of the 7th, Alan Buznitz in to face Ramirez. First pitch, and he drops one down the left field line. Holding up at second base is Kipnis. A single here for Jose Ramirez. The numbers on Buznitz. His first appearance of the season. In his career, 28 games, 1-1 with a 1.99 ERA.
Two-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball. Was a smart thing to do to start Ramirez, a great fastball hitter with a breaking ball, but he was ready for it. Better hitting. Hides the ball really well, Buznitz. They say he's got a quick arm. Ball gets on you.
He'll face Michael Brantley, who went deep his last time up. Brantley is 2 for 3. The first pitch misses low and inside for ball 1.
A lot of specialty relief guys. He'll set up on the third base side of the rubber as a right-hander. A little bit of a crossfire, try to hide the ball. And watch, when he takes the ball out of his glove, his hand will not drop very far. That's the quick arm.
Brantley doesn't get fooled, hits it to right. They're going to wave Kipnis around. Here comes a throw by Grossman. Up the line. RBI single for Brantley. Taking third on the throw is Ramirez. It's now 5-0 Indians. Second RBI of the night for Brantley. He's got 6 now on the season.
Jumped on another fastball right there. Trying to get the ball away. Watch it leak over the plate. And again, we talked about the turf with 2 outs. Just really not much of a shot at the plate right there on Kipnis.
In the dirt, nice stop by Castro. 1 ball, no strikes to Edwin Encarnacion. Encarnacion is 0 for 3, lined out to center field his last time up, but Michael Brantley now has a 3-hit night, a double, a home run, and an RBI single.
I think the Indians are liking the warm weather because the bats had been as cold as the weather they played in for most of this early start to the season.
Big swing and a miss right there by Encarnacion against 95 from Buznitz. Brantley at first, Ramirez at third, 2 outs here in the 7th. Breaking ball misses up high. 2-1.
Now we should mention that games played outside the continental U.S., the teams can add a 26th player. That has to be a position player. So what the Twins did, they actually sent down Ryan Alomar, called up Buznitz, and then they added Lamar as their 26th player.
Very smart.
That's some good front office work right there. Typically, you'd be sent down. You couldn't come back unless there's an injury within 10 days, but that rule is waived for these games played outside the continental U.S.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Encarnacion. In the air, right field, driving Grossman back. Grossman, by the warning track, will make the catch to end this inning. It's stretch time here in San Juan. 5-0 Indians lead the Twins. Indians lead the Twins as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Francisco Lindor, the 2-run homer in the 5th, electrified the crowd. Kluber's been awesome. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. 3 home runs for Cleveland, and this was the 7th inning stretch here in Puerto Rico. It's not taking me out to the ball game.
Yeah, local flavor. I wish we had the video of you getting up and doing that dance, or not.
Fortunately, we don't have that video. Max Kepler leading things off here in the 7th against Kluber. Pops it foul. Out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corey Kluber has retired 9 of the last 10 hitters. Klubot, that's his nickname. And Terry Francona told us before the game that sometimes it takes him a little while to get locked in, but once he does, he can stay on that path for a long time. He's gotten locked in from the get-go this year.
Well, the one thing I was concerned mildly coming into this game about Corey was the rest. Pitching on 7 days of rest. Shame on me, because in his career, he had 5 starts on 7 days of rest. And it's 4-0 with a 1.4 ERA. It's just nothing bothers this guy.
A 2-1 to Kepler. Ripped down the right field line, but foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Kepler. Bullpen is quiet for the Indians. And I mean, you have to expect him to get through 7. He's done it the first 3 starts of the season. We were talking before. I mean, obviously a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, but This is maybe the guy that you want in a big game. Inside out to left center field, drops in for a base hit for Kepler, takes a wide turn. He's going for 2, and he'll be in there with a leadoff double.
Great base running right out of the box by Kepler, and especially knowing he's an outfielder, he knows how slow this turf plays. And it's going to take any steam out of the ball. Ball's in on his hands, fights it off. Love the first step out of the box. Wow, that's impressive. No such thing as a routine single. Take nothing for granted. Thinking 2 right out of the box. Love it.
Third double of the season for Kepler. Leadoff man in scoring position now for Robbie Grossman. Trailing 5-0 against Kluber and the Indians. Grossman reached the first time on an error by Yonder Alonso. And he grounded out to Alonso the last time up. 4th time in the last 5 innings that the Twins have had the leadoff man on base, but Kluber's been able to work around it each time so far. Nasty pitch. But is there another pitcher that you'd rather have in that big game than Kluber? I mean, people will say maybe Kershaw, but I don't know. I think it's Kluber.
Right now, I would not argue with you. I mean, there's no one better, I'll say that. You know, we talk a lot about torque for hitters. Corey Kluber, if you watch him after almost every pitch, he has to readjust his jersey because he stays closed for so long and has such torque with his hips and torso that he has to get the wardrobe back in place. And Wade Davis is the other guy I noticed who does that. And they both pitch very similarly, where that front side stays so closed. And it's all about, like a hitter, how quickly they can rotate the torso. When you hear about pitchers opening up too early, that means that front side leaving early. Corey stays closed for so long.
Well, there's the 6th strikeout of the game for Kluber.
Well, how does he get it done? Well, he's got impeccable command. That's an unhittable slider, which he can throw. Look at the movement on the 2-seamer. And there's the slider again. Well, let's go back to our original scouting report on Corey. Strike machine, I said 70% coming in. Well, he's at a mere 67 tonight. The sliders, check that. We talked about the 2-strike counts. Well, we came in saying they were 2 for 40 with 2 strikes against Corey. They're 1 for 10 tonight with 2 strikes. Ho hum. I mean, it's amazing how he's able to repeat the delivery, and the results tend to repeat as well.
And again, I mean, you mentioned it before, but he's not overpowering you with 97 miles per hour.
Yeah, but it's plenty quick enough. Again, his actual velocity is actually down a little bit this year. That's typical for a quote-unquote power pitcher. You know, he's down a tick on just about all of his pitches. But again, it's the combination of spin and velocity. To me, that's what sets him apart from everybody else. There's no one who can spin the ball like he does at 90 to 93 miles an hour.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jason Castro. Singled his last time up. Has also flown out to left field. Rolls one over foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Did you say 2 strikes?
Uh-oh. They're 3 for 50 against him so far this year with 2 strikes.
You know, in the last 2 years, only Max Scherzer, back to 17 and 18 seasons, only Scherzer is better, tougher to hit with 2 strikes. Kluber's at 105. It's not just this year, folks. This is his pattern.
Bottom half of the 7th, 5-0 Indians leading. High and outside, 2-2.
Yeah, Yan Gomes didn't like that pitch. That was another case where he's trying to front door the 2-seamer and really got underneath the baseball and lost it to arm side. Watch where he's set up. Now he wants that in off the plate and come back over the plate. It almost to me like it slipped out of his hand.
We've talked about the humidity, the heat here in San Juan. Both pitchers, starting pitchers, working up a sweat. Odorizzi out of the game after 5+ innings. Kluber pitching into the 7th. Two-two to first base. Yonder Alonso will make the play. Down to third base goes Kepler. Earlier today, Commissioner Manfred, MLB legends Carlos Delgado, and representatives from the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians visited Boys and Girls Clubs of Puerto Rico's Ernesto Ramos Antonini Club to unveil new classrooms. Each year, MLB and Boys and Girls Clubs work together to create unique opportunities for more than 4 million children and teens worldwide. To find out how you can help, go to bgca.org.
My guess would be this inning would be it for Mr. Kluber. His pitch count so far this year, 91, 96, 103. You talked about the weather tonight. Don't want to push him this early.
Brian Dozier takes the first pitch low and outside. Well, Corey Kluber is trying to do something that no Indians pitcher has done since Sam McDowell in 1964. That's open the season with 4 straight starts of at least 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, and 2 or less runs.
A long time since Sudden Sam.
All Kluber has done tonight is hold the Twins hitless in 12 at-bats with a man on base.
You know, watching him pitch to Dozier tonight, Dozier's one of the best high fastball hitters in all of baseball. And Kluber's just so impeccable with his command. He's actually got him out twice on fastballs up because he's got them up enough. In other words, if you miss up, he can hammer it, but you have to get it just above the zone.
Fastball in the outside corner, 2-1. There is some action in the bullpen for the Indians. It is that big lefty, Andrew Miller. Woo! 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kluber trying to get through 7 innings at 99 pitches right now.
He knows the finish line is here. You see him take a little longer between pitches.
The 2-2 from Kluber. Good job fouling that pitch off by Dozier.
Very good job. That's that strike ball, breaking ball that he throws to strike all the way in until the last minute.
Joe Mauer on deck.
I love watching a veteran pitcher when he knows the finish line is approaching. Younger pitchers tend to speed up.
In the dirt, good stop by Gomes. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Dozier. Is this the last batter you think for him?
Yeah, I think it is. Just watching him trying to complete this at bat, knowing that Mauer's on deck. And Joe always makes you throw a lot of pitches, and you've got Miller ready to go. And the pitch count right there at 101. Yes, I think this is his last batter either way.
The 3-2. Another foul ball there by Dozier. A couple of good pitches by Kluber and a really nice job by Dozier to stay alive. Francona looking on. Can his ace get through 7? Another 3-2. Another foul ball.
Great battle here. This is great battle. 2 veteran players, neither one wanting to give in.
Kepler led off the inning with a double, moved to third on the ground out by Castro. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 5-0 Indians lead. Pitch number 104 coming up for Corey Kluber. And on 104, a fly ball to right field, driving Geyer back, still back at the wall. This one's off the wall. An RBI double for Dozier, and Dozier wins that battle against Kluber.
Well, Justin, I talked about how he got him out twice on fastballs just above the zone. Well, at 3-2, he doesn't want to issue the walk. So this is a fastball up, but it's an up pitch in Dozier's nitro zone.
A 9-pitch at bat. Brian Dozier knocks Kluber out of the game after 6 2/3. Francona makes the call to the bullpen. In comes Miller, out goes Kluber, 5-1, bottom 7, 2 outs with a runner on at second. On Adam Jones and the Orioles, Saturday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on FS1, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Well, you knock out Corey Kluber, and your prize, you get Andrew Miller.
We talked about the off days for Minnesota. This is their first game in 5 days. First you get Kluber, and now you get Andrew Miller, that wipeout slider.
You got to be thinking if you're Joe Mauer, really? First it's Kluber, now I got to face this lefty?
Well, think about this. If you looked at all the pitchers last year and all the pitches that they threw, 2 of the 4 toughest pitches to hit, Andrew Miller's slider and Corey Kluber's breaking ball. Now that's the assignment for the Twins tonight.
There's a breaking ball by Miller missing. Kluber watching from the dugout. 6 2/3, 5 hits, a run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Responsible for Dozier on at second base. Dozier knocked him out. The first hit by the Twins with a man on base tonight against Kluber.
And he did it with 2 strikes. Boy, did he earn it.
Fastball paints the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller. Think slider?
Yeah, he shook right there, but that's the go-to pitch.
Comes back with a fastball and misses. A little bit low, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I actually think his slider is even nastier against right-handed hitters because it just keeps breaking into them, especially down to the back foot. You know, we had the commissioner here. We should give him an idea for pace of play. Just start Joe Mauer all the time with 2 strikes.
Well, Mauer works the walk. Second walk of the game for Mauer. And let's go back to that at bat by Brian Dozier that knocked Corey Kluber out.
Now remember, I said the strength for Dozier is the fastball up. You see Kluber attacking with sliders to start. There's a two-seamer to come back. And now where he's going to work here is fouling off really good sliders. That one's in the dirt. Fouls off that one. Fouls off that a fastball right there. Now he's going to go a fastball up, but as you can see, he didn't get it up enough. Brian Dozier eats those for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And there's a first pitch slider to Miguel Sano, taken for a strike.
Yeah, that's the pitch to me. It's just so nasty. The angle that he creates, and the ball keeps working into the right-handed hitter.
Backdoor slider. Breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes.
That's just not fair. Front door, back door. Let's see if he goes back foot. Yep.
He does, and he gets him swinging. So Miller comes in, walks Mauer, then strikes out Sano. We go to the 8th here in Puerto Rico. 5-1 Indians. New Habitat for Humanity mobile response units to support home construction and repairs across Puerto Rico. The commissioner was joined by Major League Baseball legend Bernie Williams, Francisco Lindor, and Roberto Perez of the Indians, Eddie Rosario, Jose Berrios, Brian Dozier, and Eduardo Escobar of the Twins, and representatives from Habitat for Humanity to unveil the fully stocked vehicles. The contribution represents an ongoing commitment by Major League Baseball to provide support for victims of natural disasters. 5-1 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. A new pitcher into the game here for the Twins. It is a lefty, Gabriel Moya. 4th game of the season for him. 5.4 ERA, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. He'll face Yonder Alonso, Yan Gomes, and Brandon Guy are due up here in the 8th.
He's one of the rare relievers you'll see coming into a game. He doesn't light up a radar gun. 4-pitch guy, 2 fastballs, 2 breaking balls.
The first pitch fastball to the outside corner against Alonso. Alonso looking for his first hit of the night. Oh for 3. A couple of ground outs to the right side and 1 back to the pitcher.
Well, he's one of the many hitters who did change their swing and saw the results last year. getting the ball more in the air, and this home run total spiked. He told me that was such hard work, hours upon hours. People think, oh, just swing up on the baseball, right? No, he said it was almost like he had forgotten his family over the winter. It took that much work, the dedication to really hone in and change his swing as much as he did. Paid off.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Alonso. Takes it down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Yan Gomes, who singled his last time up. 5 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for Cleveland. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for Minnesota. Top of the 8th inning here in San Juan. 2-2 in the air to right field. Hooking. And that's a fair ball. Home run for Alonso. Eric Cooper, the first base umpire, made the call. 3rd homer of the season for Alonso.
And that was not an easy call by Eric Cooper, because the foul poles here are not as high as you would normally see in a big major league stadium.
And out comes Paul Molitor, and they want to go to the review. He spoke with Corey Blazer. Gary Cedarstrom will come in from second, the crew chief.
He's trying to give it a little body English right there. He gets the call, but Paul Molitor does want to take a look. We're not looking exactly down the line, but with that view, I don't know how you overturn it.
Yeah, the replays are not coming from New York City. They're actually coming from here in San Juan. Stu Sherwater is the replay umpire. I'm with you, though. I don't know how you overturn it.
Yeah, you know, major league hitters hit the ball so high and far now. These are tough. You know, sometimes even in the major league ballparks, it might go over the foul pole. This one, as I mentioned, a little shorter than what you would normally see in the major leagues.
Home run. Six to 1, Indians now lead as they get that run back that they gave up. Corey Kluber did in the bottom half of the 7th.
Watch his hands on this. Watch them move. This little trigger mechanism. You see how the barrel starts parallel to the ground, then lifts up. That little hand trigger is a key for a lot of guys to get the ball in the air. Justin Turner has done that. JD Martinez has done that. We talked about Lindor having that Robbie Alomar. Quiet hands, straight to the ball. Watch the trigger mechanism right here. He's creating rhythm with his hands and getting himself into a great loaded position. The separation between the front foot and the hands. But it all starts with that little hand motion. If you go back in time, Babe Ruth did it. Hank Aaron did it. Willie Mays did it. Ted Williams did it.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds, same thing. You know, there's a period there where people would say, oh, you got to hitch. You got to lose that. Keep your hand still, go straight to the ball. That's gone. Creating rhythm and speed with the barrel.
Yan Gomes foul tipped into the mitt of Castro, 1 away. MLB on FS1 is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and by Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises. That is Old San Juan. Really cool. If you ever make it here to Puerto Rico, make sure you get to Old San Juan. Walk the streets.
You are very familiar with that part of town, aren't you?
Hey, you know what? You have to go and experience everything.
My question for you is, have you seen it in the daytime?
I have not, no.
Okay.
No balls, 1 strike. Here to Geyer, his second at bat. Grounded out to third base on a beautiful play by Miguel Sano back in the 6th inning. Pops out of the mitt of Castro. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and 1 the count. Here to Geyer. Pulled foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, we've been lucky enough here tonight to have some great in-game guests talking about their passion for baseball. And while we've been celebrating baseball here tonight, a bit of sad news. Former President Bush, he was an owner of the Texas Rangers. The Bush family, they are huge baseball fans. Well, former First Lady Barbara Bush passed away tonight. And our thoughts and prayers are with the Bush family. The wife of President George H.W. Bush and the mother of President George W. Bush passed away tonight here on April 17th.
Well, absolutely. All of our condolences and best wishes to the Bush family. Barbara Bush, you mentioned, very important in the baseball community. An avid baseball fan. And in my mind's eye, I'll always see her sitting up behind the plate at an Astros game, wearing her ball cap and keeping score. And never leaving a game early. True baseball fan.
Yeah, so cool. JP, for more on this?
Yes, the Astros club president Reed Ryan released a statement a short time ago about the passing of Barbara Bush, saying, quote, "As First Lady, Mrs. Bush epitomized grace, dignity, and strength." He went on to credit her for all the work she did with literacy and young people, and as you mentioned, Justin, said what a privilege it was for the Astros to get to know President Bush and Mrs. Bush through the many games they attended together at Minute Maid Park.
Thanks, JP. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning for Bradley Zimmer, who's got a couple of doubles and a run scored on the night. Lays off that pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes. (6-1) lead for the Indians after the solo shot by Yonder Alonso, hooking it just inside the foul pole. Leading off this 8th inning. Fouls it back. Stays alive at 1-2. Moya, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Twins. The 1-2 to Zimmer. And Zimmer lifts one to left field. Rosario coming in. He'll make the catch to end the inning. But a home run by Yonder Alonso. We go to the bottom of the 8th here in Puerto Rico. 6-1 Cleveland. in Old San Juan, that's where the pina colada started.
Is that right?
Puerto Rico, the home of rum.
Looks good.
Hey, why not have one when you're here at the stadium? Keep the party atmosphere going.
Now that's a good time. And then you go to Old San Juan.
I think we should have the music just play throughout the inning.
You like that song?
Oh, it's a good one. It's kind of fitting, too, that Eddie Rosario is leading things off here. Here in the 8th inning against Andrew Miller, 6-1 ball game. Indians lead the Twins. First pitch breaking ball in their first strike. Rosario singled back in the 4th, has lined out to second and struck out in this game.
Outside 1-1.
Outside. Well, you just heard it from Corey Blazer. 1-1. Broken back, ground ball to first. Alonso. One away. This Puerto Rico series here in 2018, a 2-game series. Game 2 tomorrow night. Carlos Carrasco against Jose Berrios.
By the way, you mentioned Corey Blazer behind the plate. At third base is Roberto Ortiz, who is from Caguas here in Puerto Rico. 33 years old. What a thrill for him. You know, we talked about Lindor and Rosario playing on their native turf here. How about that for Roberto Ortiz? First umpire from Puerto Rico since 2009.
Congratulations to him.
You telling me he didn't circle this date on his calendar when they announced these games? Wow. And here he is.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Morrison. Out in front of that, 1-2.
It's a tough matchup for Morrison. Just hang in there against the left-hander with that slingshot delivery. Doesn't hit left-handers well.
And he hits one pretty well, but it's gloved by Miller. 2 away.
And that's a tough matchup for any left-handed hitter, whether you hit him well or not.
Built for Baseball, presented by T-Mobile, the best network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. Bottom of the 8th here at Iran Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Justin Kutcher alongside Tom Verducci, JP Morosi down on the field. 6-1 lead for the Indians. Eduardo Escobar takes the first pitch for a strike. Prior to this game, the Indians had not played since Friday, the Twins since Thursday. Snow up north, 0-2. And now both these teams here playing in 80+ degree weather, humidity. They're actually sweating. It's got to feel good.
I'd say Andrew Miller looks pretty good. Those off days didn't shake him at all.
The 0-2 blows it by him. His second strikeout since coming on in relief of Kluber. We go to the 9th. 6-1 Indians. Orlando Cepeda, Roberto Alomar, and the most recent one, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. I think it's safe to say that those four make the all-time team here for Puerto Rico.
How about that team? How about shortstop? We got an active player on the all-time team. Carlos Correa giving him the nod over Francisco Lindor.
Lindor was the starting shortstop on the WBC team. Correa moved over to third base. That's how crazy things are. We just had the all-time shortstop, and he didn't play shortstop in the WBC. The new pitcher is Tyler Kinley. A Rule 5 pick by the Twins back on December 14th. Facing Lindor. And the fastball's high and outside at 94. Francisco Lindor, that 2-run home run in the 5th inning. I think it's safe to say that when his career is all said and done, he'll look back at that moment as one of the highlights of his career.
Oh, without a doubt. And he won't be the only one, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of kids here tonight who will always remember that moment.
The 1-1. In the air to left field. Rosario at the warning track in front of the wall will make the catch. And that's the second time tonight that Lindor has put one to the wall.
He keeps this up. I'm going to start calling him a power hitter, whether he likes it or not. He's getting more balls in the air, but again, I think he's naturally just grown into more strength. He's a threat in so many ways.
One away now for Jason Kipnis. Singled his last time up. 1 for 3 is also walked. Kipnis came around to score on the RBI single by Brantley. Kipnis now as a second baseman. Remember, in the playoffs last year, he was playing some center field. Behind in the count, 0-2. And with 2 strikes, Miguel Sano moves over from third base now to the second base side of second base. One ball and 2 strikes.
You know, we've talked a lot about that joy that Francisco Lindor plays with. And it takes me back to a story he likes to tell about growing up. And next to the house was a big hill. And his dad would go about 200 yards up the hill and hit as hard as he could rubber baseballs. Frankie would be at the bottom with his glove, and there was a thicket of bushes behind him, and his job was to try, don't let the ball go in the thicket of bushes. And think about that. A ball's coming down the hill. It's hit hard to begin with. It's a very uneven surface. That's how he learned how to field bad hops, but he also learned how to play with some flair, because he said just for fun, they tried to do a little trickery, him and his brother, about how to catch the ball. It wasn't just routine, get the ball gloved down 2 hands. He'd have some fun with it as well. I think he's carried that attitude in the big leagues.
So see, kids, if you want to be like Francisco Lindor, have your dad hit balls to you.
Make sure they're rubber
200 feet up high.
We don't want anybody to get hurt.
Out straight back. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Indians trying to move to 9-6 on the season. The Twins enter this game at 7-4. Another 2-2. Called strike 3. 2 away. Our dynamic play of the game is presented by Hankook Tire.
It will mean the world. Going to Puerto Rico will mean the world to me, because best moments of my life out of Puerto Rico. And I just can't wait for the fans to actually see what it's like going back to Puerto Rico and playing there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Fun indeed for Francisco Lindor. Gave everybody here a memory that they'll remember forever. Jose Ramirez takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. Ramirez singled his last time up, homered back in the 6th. The first of 2 between Ramirez and Brantley for back-to-back, and that knocked Jake Odorizzi out of the game. So here's the swing. You could see him looking at it because it just got over the wall, and once it did, the emotions came pouring out.
I mean, just think about, and I can't even imagine the thoughts going through his head. It's the best case scenario. I don't even know if he dreamed that part. Just coming back here was a dream come true, to play a major league game, regular season game. And then to hit a home run in front of so many family and friends. Magic.
Three balls and 1 strike to Ramirez. It continued all the way to when he took the field and he took a bow. That's how long the ovation was lasting for Francisco Lindor. Fouled back, 3-2. You talked about, you don't know if he actually dreamed about hitting a home run. It's like Bubba Watson when he won his first Masters. They asked him, you know, he goes, I dreamt of this. He goes, how about this part? He goes, I didn't get that far in my dream about actually winning. You wonder if that's the case with Lindor. Coming back here, it's exceeded expectations, and then to do that.
Whatever word there is that describes what's beyond and better than a dream, that's what Lindor experienced tonight.
Ramirez rips one to right field. Third hit of the game for Ramirez. Brantley already has 3 hits. A single, a double, a home run. Needs a triple here for the cycle. Two outs here in the 9th. Tyler Kinley on pitching for the Twins. And the fastball's in there for strike 1.
He's a big key to their lineup for me. It's just all about health. We know he can hit. And he hits good pitching with that flat swing.
He actually reminds me a lot of Joe Mauer at the plate.
Yeah, and it's a great comp because they're both very quiet. Again, we talked about Lindor, and there's little movement with his hands. Brantley is someone not trying to lift the baseball. You'll see how quiet his hands are. Even through the load, he's got a very short load with his hands.
Good eye as well, laying off that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
One thing about both Mauer and Brantley, very rarely will you see them take that check swing or that bat. You know, you have to ask the umpire on the opposite side, did he swing or not? Because their swing is so quick. They can start just a hair later. The check swing guys have to commit early.
Good pitch there by Kinley. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two off the plate. Kinley able to field it, underhand toss, and that will do it here in the top of the 9th inning. Francisco Lindor and the Indians are 3 outs away from taking the first game of this 2018 Puerto Rico series. The legends from Puerto Rico, these are the current guys. Francisco Lindor, one of the best in the game. 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning here in San Juan. The Indians have a new pitcher, Cody Allen, on the mound. Third pitcher of the game for Cleveland, as he'll face Kepler, Grossman, and Castro due up here in the 9th. And the first pitch is high and outside for ball 1. A new left fielder, it's a 26th man for the Indians, Greg Allen.
It's pretty cool getting called up as a 26th guy from AAA to come to San Juan.
Max Kepler doubled and scored the only run in the game so far for the Twins. Tonight's attendance, 19,516. One ball and 2 strikes here to Kepler. The 1-2. Just missing. How about this? We got some empanadas up here. I mean, they're gone now.
They're gone. They didn't last long.
We get to experience the full culture. Fouled back. Stays 2-2.
How about the pina coladas? I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, we didn't see those.
And I really have to thank the truck for playing that song because now I can't get it out of my head. Really. Rupert Holmes, by the way.
You had it nailed.
One-hit wonder, right?
Thanks,
but a big hit. Big hit. You say pina colada, there's nothing else. He owns pina colada.
Hey. It's a smart move. Breaking ball. Just missing. 3-2. It's fitting that it's here in Puerto Rico, home of rum, Bacardi.
I mean, there'll never be another pina colada song because you can't top that.
I didn't realize you thought about this so much. I mean, here I was. I thought you were thinking about Kluber on 7 days rest.
Well, listen to
but
this
instead,
song.
you're thinking about this song.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight, and that thing will still be playing in my head. That's just one of those songs. You might not hear it for years, and then as soon as you hear it, it's stuck. It is glue to the brain.
Maybe if you have some pina coladas, you'll be okay and you'll be able to sleep better.
I'm going to need one.
I would suggest maybe 2, and then you'll sleep fine.
How about this? How about they adopt that here at the 7th inning stretch song?
You're not stretching. You're sitting back, relaxing.
That's a great sing-along song, though. You got to admit that. You know, like Neil Diamond at Fenway Park.
So good. And Kepler walks. Hey, you know what? We're thinking of pina coladas. Let's find out what's going on with the whip around after us. Chris Myers, what do you have? See, Myers knows it.
He does.
Ball 1 here to Robbie Grossman. (6-1) bottom half of the 9th inning. Karaoke's now over.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that said, thank goodness.
One ball, 1 strike to Grossman. Again, Grossman got the start here tonight because of migraine headaches for Byron Buxton. Good backdoor breaking ball.
Yeah, boy, again, let's go back to the top. We talked about Minnesota playing for the first time in 5 days. And the stuff, pure stuff they've seen tonight out of Kluber, Miller, and Allen. And that guy right there, Jose Berrios, you talk about stuff. He's going to show off his stuff tomorrow night.
One, 2 misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Allen, the 3rd pitcher here for the Indians tonight. Popped up behind the plate. Gomes back to give it a look. And this will end on top of the roof here at Eron Bithorn Stadium.
You know, Sparky Anderson, the late Sparky Anderson, obviously a great baseball mind, taught me a long time ago, wait until about 2 months of the season, about 50 games, before you really can judge a team. And I know everybody's in a hurry. This is all we have so far is a couple of weeks to judge a team. But you think about Minnesota, they have an off day on the other side of this series. Only 13 games in the first 22 days of the season. There's no conclusion you can make about this team given all those days off. Not to mention some of the weather they've actually played in.
Grossman to center field. Zimmer is there for the catch. 1 away. So this was the Twins leaving Minneapolis to come here to San Juan, dressed for the part with snow.
They couldn't wait to get on that plane.
That's Jake Odorizzi and Brian Dozier right there. I mean, those outfits are phenomenal. They may be losing right now 6-1, but you have to think with the weather they're winning.
Gone from the average of 44. 79.
Strike 1 to Jason Castro. The producer of tonight's game, Aaron Stoikoff. The director is Matt Gangle. The associate director is Brian Biederman. The broadcast associate is Brian Colucci. Ed Svita. Stats up here in the booth. Wayne Fiddleman with stats down on the truck. And a lot of hard work went into making this game happen. And thank you to everyone involved. Of course, thank you to everybody with Major League Baseball, with the Indians, with the Twins, the people of Puerto Rico for making this night so special. This will certainly be a game that I'll remember for a very, very long time. Foul back at a play, and going back to that graphic, in case you're wondering, it's 79 degrees here in San Juan. It's 39 degrees in Minneapolis with a chance of snow tomorrow.
Wow. They had blizzard conditions the other day. I was talking to Joe Mauer. He's obviously lived there his whole life, and he said his dad doesn't remember blizzard conditions like that in April for at least 30 years.
Down the left field line. Out of play. Also to thank Paul Harbath, our TD, Joe Carpenter in audio, and Paul Zecca in tape. Everyone working so hard to make this a big night. All the guests that came in the booth joined us. How fun was that?
A lot of fun. I mean, what a show all of Puerto Rico has put on. Stadium looks great. Got memorable moments in this game. As you mentioned, the guests that came through here, all spectacular. Great night for baseball.
Fouled back. Stays 1-2 to Castro. And again, don't forget, coming up, we've got the MLB Whip Around show coming up. And we're going to have a live interview back here in San Juan with Francisco Lindor.
I can't wait to hear that.
I don't know what word he uses to describe that moment.
Exactly. He wears his emotions on his sleeves, and he's not afraid to describe them, and does so very well.
Castro, did he go? He did not, says Roberto Ortiz. 2-2. Well, this is the formula that Terry Francona wants, right? You go Kluber, Miller, Allen. Allen walks Kepler, and now is 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Castro. And he gets him on the high fastball. Two away here in the bottom half of the ninth, and it's Brian Dozier who knocked Kluber out of the game after 6 2/3 on that great at bat, a 9-pitch at bat that ended with him doubling off the right center field wall. What a stop there by Gomes. That was a 55-footer.
Yeah, that was a brick wall right there. That ball landed well in front of the plate and didn't go anywhere when it hit him. Squared up.
Maybe Lindor gave him some lessons.
Had him on the hill.
Yeah. Well hit to left center field. Coming on now, and that one dies in front of Greg Allen. Being held up at third base is Kepler. I tell you what, that one fooled me.
It fooled Allen a little bit because he had the big swing and it came off the end of the bat. Might have broken it. In any case, it was just off the barrel. Allen's playing deep anyway. You hear that sound. It didn't sound great. You see him circle on that ball thinking it was going to carry a little more.
The wind has died down completely here at Hiram Bithorn Stadium as Joe Mauer will come to the plate. 2 away in the ninth. Runners on the corners. 6-1 ball game. Cody Allen already at 24 pitches. And taking the free base is Dozier as they'll go down to second.
Now look at this outfield
difference
here. Look where Bradley Zimmer's playing in center field, right? Almost like it's a right-handed pull hitter. But the key for me is look at right field with Geyer. Joe Mauer almost never, ever hits a ball into the right field corner. He just doesn't hit balls out in front where he's going to hook it in the corner.
Takes the pitch up high, 2-0.
And that's when you know, obviously, as a guy with 2,000 hits and almost 1,000 walks now, there's a pretty big body of work to work off of. It's not a small sample size. He's just not going to hit the ball there because he doesn't cheat to get the ball out in front. He'd rather hit the ball deep, and that's why you see Zimmer shaded over in the gap at left center.
There's a big swing by Maurer. You don't see him uncoil like that very often.
No, in his big home run year, back in the Metrodome days, he had more of those swings, and he took them when he had counts in his favor. Great location by Allen, though, getting that just above the hands.
Well, the count was in his favor at 2-0. Now it's 2-1. Just missing. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Maurer.
Stays within his approach as well as anybody I've ever seen, Joe Maurer.
Allen's 3-1. Just as you said, that approach, I mean, that's a 3-1 pitch.
I mean, again, I'll go back. I'm going to suggest this to the commissioner. Pace of play, move the games along. When Joe Maurer steps in the box, give him 2 strikes. That's what he's done every at-bat tonight.
They're on their feet here in San Juan. Ground ball, second base. Kipnis with the backhand. And that will do it as the Indians take the first game of this 2-game Puerto Rico series by a score of 6-1.
That was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. A lot of memorable moments in this game, especially from Francisco Lindor.
Francisco Lindor with that 2-run home run electrified the crowd. Tomorrow it's Carlos Carrasco against Jose Berrios. For JP Morosi and Tom Verducci, I'm Justin Kutcher. Let's get you out to LA for the MLB Whip Around. Here's Chris Myers.